So I was in the front row, and I was walking around, I was looking for a seat. There were none to be found. But I saw this one man. He was standing there, and there was some energy that he had about him that you're going to see in just a minute. This energy about this gentleman is so powerful, is so engaging, that I couldn't help myself but to say, I love you! I think I talked to him for 30 seconds. It was an immediate, instant soul connection. Have you ever had that happen? Ever? Anybody, raise your hand if you've ever had that happen. It's really amazing how you can just meet somebody, looking in their eyes, hearing their voice, and it resonates with you so much that you have a soul connection. And that's what happened with me and our next speaker, Riyad Hamdi!
I grew up in North Africa, and we're 5 kids, and I'm the youngest one. And I go home and said, "Mommy, I'm home, Mommy. What we have for dinner tonight?" And my mom, she's in the kitchen, she's crying, and said, "We don't have food for tonight." And we hold hands and said, "Mommy, it's okay, we don't have food for tonight, but I have you, Mommy." And we hold hands and we sit down on the floor. And my mom, she's crying, and I love play soccer. I play soccer every day. I never have tennis shoes. I play barefoot every day. And they go home and said, "Mommy, we win, Mommy. We win the game." And my mom said, "Why your feet all bloody?" I said, "Mommy, painted the name of the game. You have to get hurt to win." In the winter, it's very cold in the winter. Me and my mom, we sit down on the floor. We find the pieces of food, and we make a small fire, very small fire. And my mom tell me how she struggled. And I'm looking at the fire. And my mom said, "Why are you looking at the fire?" I said, "Mommy, I don't want the fire to end, because the fire to end, my mom is going to be cold. My mom is going to be cold." And I decided to be the fire for my mom. That's what I decided to do. I came to America in 2000. I remember I grew up in a small town, and my friend said, "Do you want to go to America?" I said, "What? America? We don't have food. We sleep on the floor. We don't take shower. We don't have hot water." I said, "We don't have nothing. What are you talking?" I said, "No. If you come up with $1,400, people can donate $1,400 for me. If you come up with $1,400, you can come to America." And what I did, I went knock every door and said, "Hey, I want to go to America. I want to help my mom. My mom, she's crying every day. I can clean the bathroom, clean the floor. I need money." And I knock doors, and somebody give me $1, somebody give me 50 cents, somebody give me $2. It took me 1 year to collect $1,400. 1 year. And I'm excited that somebody give me 10 cents, 20 cents, clean the backyard. And I came to America. I came here in 2000, and we came a group of 60 people. And the last day, everybody said, "I'm going home." Everybody going home. I told everybody I'm staying, and people said, "No, you're crazy. You're staying, you're going to die. Don't do it." I have only $2 in my pocket, and the only word I know in English is job. This is the only word I know. And everybody said, "Don't do it. You're going to die today. Don't do it." I told them, "No, I'm dying every day in my country. Today, I'm going to make my mom proud. Today, not tomorrow. Today, I'm going to make my mom proud." Everybody left. I started crying. I got so scared. I said, "Wow, what happened if I die and my mom don't find me? What happened?" Everybody left. I started walking Hollywood Boulevard. Say job, job, job. I got rejected. Job, I got rejected. What's kept other people said, "Why you keep knocking the doors?" It's not how many doors you knock, it's who's behind the door. It's not how many doors you knock, it's who's behind the door and change your life. And this is what I did. And finally, I get my first yes. The owner is from Morocco. I told him, "Please give me a job." And he said, "No, I can't." I said, "I clean the bathroom. I clean the floor. I clean your car. Please give me a job. Give me a place to sleep tonight." He said, "No, I can't. You don't speak English." mom, she's crying every day. I want to make sure my mom don't cry no more. And he said, okay, go ahead and clean the bathroom and clean the floor. I did this for 9 months. I cleaned the bathroom, I cleaned the floor, and sleep on the floor in the night. By the way, I cleaned the floor very good because I know I'm going to sleep on the floor. That's what I did. And this is what I did. And other people ask me all the time, you slept in the floor? I said, yes, I slept in the floor, but I slept in America floor. I actually slept in America floor. This is not regular floor, this is America floor. And this is what I did. The reason I share with you a story, because when I travel, people always tell me about your glory. I said, no, it's not about the glory, it's about the story, my friend. Can you sleep in the floor? And the one thing I want to tell everybody, because America, my mom have food. Because America, my mom have hot water. Because America, my mom don't cry no more. If you get up in the morning and you have food, and you have shoes, and you have a place to sleep, you already made it. The rest is extra. I'm an average guy. I decided I want to see my mom cry no more. This is what I decided to do. And when I opened my first business, my first juice bar, people always tell me, you're crazy. You're crazy, you open a juice bar, you're not going to make it. 2-3 blocks away, you have Jamba Juice. I told everyone, Jamba Juice do not have Riyadh. Don't get the mentality like you can do anything. And I opened after the second one, third one, I kept going. And the one thing I want to share with everyone, you have 7 steps for success, okay? This is what you need. You have 7 steps for success. First, you have to have the dream. You have to have a dream first. After, you have to believe it. I have a dream, I want to make sure my mom have hot water. I have a dream, make sure my mom don't cry no more. After, you have to believe it. After, you have to see it in the front for you. When I walk in Los Angeles, I said, one day my mom have hot water. One day my mom don't cry no more. One day my mom have food. One day my mom don't sleep on the floor no more. You have to have a dream. After, you have to believe it. After, you have to see it. After, you have to share it with everyone. If you have a dream, you have to share your dream with everyone. You have to. After, you have to plan it. After you plan it, you have to go to work. The job description for work is hard work. The job description for work is hard work. The one thing I want to share with everybody, don't train for life, train for legacy. Don't train for life, train for legacy. If you have 1 hour left, what you want to do? You have a book, you have anything you did. A lot of people ask me, who are you to teach us what you do? I'm Riyadh Hamdi. I come here in America in 2000 with only $2 in my pocket. And the only word I know in English is job. I own a chain of juice bars. I speak for Dell Technology, $80 billion company. It's me. I read books. It's me. I do Instagram for celebrities. It's me. It's me. America provides me all this. It's America. And you're already here. If you're here, you already made it.
Yeah.
If you're here, you already made it. So one thing I want to tell everyone, dream all day, don't dream only in the night. When I grew up in a small town, I never saw elevator, I never saw green light, I never saw red light. The first time I saw elevator I saw elevator in Los Angeles. I walk, I saw this box. I told my friend, what's this? He said, what's this box? He said, no, this is not box, this is the elevator. He said, I thought this is box. He said, no, this is the elevator. And the door gets open, and they get so scared. I stay halfway, the door cannot close. He said, let me go in. After I said, oh wait a second, if I go in, nobody know I'm in. He said, let me go outside and watch. I said, if I stay outside, I cannot go to the top. The story I learned, the only way you go to the top if you go all the way in. The only way to go to the top is you go all the way in. The question to ask yourself, are you all the way in your business? Are you all the way in your life? And let me share something else, everybody. This phone called smartphone. This phone don't call phone, call smartphone. The question to ask yourself every day, The only two things this fund do is add value to people or you make money. The only thing do this fund is add value to people or make money. If you don't make money or down value, call your fund down fund. That's what you need to do. This is the only thing the fund do. This is a smart fund. And remember, we do not have 24 hours. A lot of people say, oh, we have 24 hours. You do not have 24 hours. You have 86,400 seconds. 86, every second is important. And now I want to move very quick to Instagram. I want to share something about Instagram for you. Like, I started Instagram 17 months ago. 17 months ago, Instagram, I post every day. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Anybody can start. It's how you finish the game. This is how you win. I post every day and people said, why are you posting every day? You're annoying. Why are you doing Instagram? Instagram is a waste of time. Why are you doing it? I kept going. Remember, if people do not tell you you're crazy, then your dream is not big enough. If people do not tell you you're crazy, then your dreams is big enough. I post every day for 17 months. And look what happened, guys. With only Instagram, I average over 30,000 a month, just from Instagram. Just from Instagram. When people tell you this way, I want to bring Stephanie here to give you some tips about Instagram now, to help you some tips about Instagram, and you want to talk a little bit about how Stephanie, me, and her work together, and you want to talk more about Instagram.
Just before Stephanie goes on stage, I want to say something. I want to say thank you so much, Riyad, for being here. Your story is it really touched my heart. And just one more thing, Mr. Eric Swanson, Mr. Austin wants to say something to you, so just stay here and there you go.
Thank you, sir, appreciate it. I gotta say something. I am not, how do I say this? It doesn't, it's not easy to impress me as much as you just impressed the heck out of me on your story. And again, it's a 2-year waiting list to get on my stage, but I'd love to invite you to be on my stage, to be So we'd love to have the honor of you sharing your story on the Haven't You Worked conference anytime you'd like.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, man. Give it up for Riyad, ladies and gentlemen.
Didn't I tell you guys?
Well, it just keeps like one amazing person after another, and the next speaker guest is just as amazing too. Has an incredible story. I was talking to him in the lobby a little bit as well. So I'm going to read a little bit of what it says here and then add some things to it. So our next guest is the world's leading cellular health scientist. He's helped 53,000 become healthy from the inside out, getting off all medications and literally reversing aging, cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, and many other illnesses. He's personally given Dave Ramsey staff for free to build his business, and because he'd been helping people for 10 years for free. And he's currently being courted by Lifetime Television and National Radio syndication to share his simple scientific solution to energized health. He just recently shared the floor on the United Nations, sharing his worldwide acclaimed science. Steve Forbes, presidents, ambassadors, along with the physician to the last 4 presidents, all declare John's science is a first and needed by all. But what's really amazing is that he actually is a banker who would do all this part of his work as a passion. And he just kept following his passion, and his passion just bloomed and expanded into what I just described. So please welcome a big warm welcome to John Jubilee.
Wow, what an incredible group of people. I'm so honored to be here. And real quick, for those of you that have seen me speak before, you know what? I've never had facial hair in my life. So, and I'll tell you what happened. The guys know, right? It's the girl. So I met this girl, and I fell in love, and she said, you know, I really would like the facial hair. Look, I like ran down to one of those craft shops and like bought the chia pet stuff, and you know, it's like anything to get that facial hair on there just a little bit quicker. So if you're wondering from my other pictures, that's all on Chelsea for there. So hey, honey, if you're watching. So I want to share a message about you. So many times in life, especially in an audience like this, you know, how many of you guys want to help other people? How many of you want to do that? Every one of you. I hear these stories and I am so moved and like, wow. But I'm going to tell you this. I have a little bit of a different message for you today. And it's, you know, I want you to consider this possibility, is to make 2019, and stay with me here, to make 2019 all about you. All about you. If you don't fill your own cup, and it's running over onto the saucer, you're not going to be able to serve people the way you want to. Do you know that one of the most unhealthiest group of people in America is nurses? Nurses give and give and give and give, and guess who's right behind the nurses? The moms. Because they'll do everything for their husband, for the babies, and for their business, and they always come last. And I want to encourage you to take care of yourself first. Give to yourself first. And I'll just share just a quick backdrop, because it is astonishing to me the stories of where we all come from, right? Because don't we all sort of prejudge the book by the cover? Like I already stepped up here and everybody, you all make your assumption, right? Where that guy came from. So go ahead, size me up. Okay, first of all, you're all wrong. I'm black. I'm black. I really am. I just look white on the outside. I played on an all-black football team in an all-black football league for 5 years. I played tailback, cornerback, and was the kickoff returner. No white man can do that. Come on, my black boy was the tough. For real. My teammate said, John, I'm telling you, you're black on the inside. Plus, I can dance really good. I came from a family as poor as anyone. Even my beloved brother, where's he at? Brother, what a message. $2 and sleeping on the floor. Guess what? In America, I lived in a horse trailer. In America. I had a plywood bunk bed cut out the size of my little body and lived in a horse trailer, and we had a hot plate that we cooked our meals on because our house trailer was destroyed in a hurricane. You know, they have those in Louisiana, and that's where we lived then. But guess what? I had this amazing mom. You guys care if I take my jacket off? Woo! Oh, sure, thanks.
You're an adventure superhero.
Yeah, I was speaking in South Carolina, and one lady said, take it all off, sir. I was like, ma'am, sir, calm your wife down. So, all of us have a background that we come from. And it could be the most challenging, adverse circumstances. I was raised by a single mom in the inner city. My biological father took my mom to an abortion clinic because my brother was 4 months old when she got pregnant with me, and he didn't want to. And my mom got up off an abortion table and ran out. And thank God for my heroic mom, because she did. I'm here today. Thanks, Mom. And my mom raised 4 kids. Inner city, poverty, living in a horse trailer sometimes, all this adversity coming up. And so I always wanted to take care of my mom. So when I'm talking to you about, I have that same heart. I want to take care of people. You want to take care of your mom? I want to take care of, I started a paper route when I was 9 years old. How many of you know you can't even get a paper route when you're 9 years old? But there was a big mentally disabled boy, a teenager in my neighborhood. I took him down to the newspaper, signed up a paper route in his name. He became my first employee. Was an entrepreneur at 9 years old. By the time I was 15 years old, I worked in a foundry. Anyone know what that is? It's like a steel mill for iron. 10 at night till 6 in the morning. Went to high school during the day. I was making $24 an hour in 1975. It was good money. And I banked all my money to go to college. Except an amazing thing happened on the way. I played tennis on Wednesday morning with a group of the rich kids. And they said, John, we'll see you at the SATs on Saturday. And I said, yeah, see you there. And then I went to school and was going, what's the SATs? And I was like, you're kidding me. I gave up my Saturday for a test? But I scored in the top 1% in the nation on this test, and I got a full ride scholarship to college. And now I got to keep all my money. And you can Google this. And then I invested that money. I invested that money in silver. And the Hunt brothers cornered the market, and I became the richest kid in college with that. So I've had a very exciting, adventurous life. But I always had this heart to help people, And so in the midst of my banking career, I began this passion for health and began to study. And God gives us all a different gift. I'm not here to tell you I'm some super smart guy, but I can quote encyclopedias because God gave you a photographic memory. And the teacher said you got a photographic memory when you can quote pages of an encyclopedia. And I can solve algebraic equations in 1 second. I'm a mathematician. And so when you combine those two things and you go study health and wellness, a really good thing happens. You simplify complex things. So let me share with you a couple things you can do for yourself this year, to help yourself to be healthy. And look, for those of you here that, when you take your Saturday to come and you're missing NFL football playoff games, that's some serious commitment to yourself. So you've already done a really good first step for yourself.
Depends on who's playing.
And you can always DVR if you have to. So I want to encourage you though, and I mean it when I say this. Look, if you don't take anything else out of this conference today, take care of yourself first. Because I could ask someone to borrow your cell phone and we could try to make a phone call to Steve Jobs. And we could ask him how important health is. Hey Steve, you built one of the biggest companies in the world, you're one of the most famous guys in the world, got one of the most biggest staffs in the world, with the coolest office complex ever. How's that working for you? Everybody with me here? What good does it do to do all that and then you die halfway through your life? You don't even get to live half of your life. So while we're all busy to build our business and make millions, and you better remember what's the most important thing. Everybody point at yourself, touch yourself, point yourself. Me, you are the most important thing. If you don't take care of you, there's not another you. There's not another you. I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand just in case, but I would venture to say most people have spent more money on their car than you have on yourself in the last couple of years. And I want to encourage you to invest in you. Invest in you. You can trade that car in, and you do trade your car in. You know why? Because you say, oh, this is getting old, it might break down. There's not another one of you. There's no trade-in.
That's right.
You're the only you. You're the only you that you're ever going to have. You're the only you that you're ever going to have. And so I want to encourage you to make sure your cup is full emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and yes, financially, that's important, and relationally. And let me tell you something, all of these things are connected to cellular health. All of these things are connected to cellular health. So when I teach about cellular health, I can prove scientifically every one of these things is connected. I've been to a doctor in 21 years, by the way.
Yeah.
21 years. And I'm 138 years old. Just teasing. I'm 58 years old. I'm 58 years old. No testosterone, no HGH, you know, all natural. And guess what? You can be healthy at a cellular level for your whole life, but you got to learn how to take care of yourself first. Not second, not fifth, not eighth, not ninth. You better put yourself on the list. And look, can I demystify a couple things here real quick? Okay, first of all, hydration. You don't get hydrated by just drinking water. Our cells are as hard as a marble countertop. Unless we do the right thing to get our cells porous like a sponge. And this is part of the science that I shared at the United Nations, is you have to get a cell to be porous like a sponge. You can give people 3 gallons of water a day. I had a pro athlete here in LA. I said, I'll bet you $1 million you're dehydrated. They were like, are you crazy? I drink 3 gallons a day of Kangen water. I said, I don't care if you drink 8 gallons a day of Kangen water. You pour 8 gallons of water on a hard cell, nothing's getting in there. He said, I won't bet you, but I'll let you measure it. I've been measuring hydration in human beings for 21 years. How many of you last time you went to your doctor measured your hydration? I speak all over the world, 4 cities a week. I lived in Zurich, Switzerland for 2 years. I've never had a hand go up anywhere in the world. Hydration is the #1 most important thing of the human body. Look at my skin. 58 years old. My eyes are crystal clear. I'm healthy from inside out. And this is what I want to help people to do. If you are just 10%, you're an entrepreneur, you think your brain's important? If you're 10% dehydrated, you lose 50% of your brain synapses. Half. Gone. Hold up your hand like this. Make your fingers go like that, like Spock. Now cross your fingers like that. If you can't just cross your fingers like that, guess what? It's because your brain synapses aren't all firing. And when they are, you can do that all day, every day, on both hands. No problem. And if you can't, guess what? You're dehydrated. So the key is get your cells porous like a sponge. Second thing is salt is the only nutrient to the human brain. Salt. Low salt, low sodium diet is an absolute myth. When we went low salt, low sodium, Alzheimer's went through the roof, strokes went through the roof. Salt is healthy for you. Anybody here ever read the Bible that says you are the salt of the earth? It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. So, am I on time? What's that? Oh, 1 minute. Okay. Yes. Yes. No, you drink water. The key is the cell. Yeah. So I teach a simple protocol. And by the way, since it's so short in here, I'm going to do something a little out of the norm. But if you want to take down my cell number, you can text me. I'll send you some links, and you can get a free book I wrote, The Hydration Revelation. I'm not a #1 selling best author. You know why? I released on the same day as John Grisham. I said, are we going to hit number one? They said, no, John, you are number 2. John Grisham is number 1 because you're in his category. So I'm number 2 behind John Grisham. Not too bad. But take down this number. It's 949 887 5157. 949-887-5157. You can send me a text, give me your name, say I'm interested in the book or the protocol, whatever it is. I would love to help you. But my encouragement to you this year is put yourself first. Take care of you so that you can be your best you first. And then when you're your best you, you can serve people to be their best. Thank you so much.
Next guest, Les Brown Jr. was named one of the top 40 speakers under 40 in America. He is co-Emmy Award winner with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and is the international best-selling author of the book, The Harvard Effect. Give it up for Les Brown Jr.
Everyone with power and conviction, as if Drake was up here tonight. I need you to repeat after me. Everyone say, it's not over. It's not over. Bring your energy level up. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're ready to make 2019 your best year ever, if you're seriously committed to your goals and dreams, bring your energy up and say, it's not over. It's not over. Until we win. Until we win. Come on, say it like you mean it. Say it like you're winning for your family. Say it like you're winning to make your children's children proud. Say, it's not over. It's not over. Until I win. Until I win. One of our great presidents, Theodore Roosevelt, he said something nearly 100 years ago, and it still remains true to this day. He said, it's not the critics who count, not the person who points out how the strong woman stumbles, or how the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the men and women who are actually in the arena, whose faces marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who spends herself in a worthy cause. Because without effort, there can be no triumph. But who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who at best in the end knows the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if she fails, at least failed while daring greatly, so that their place shall never be known with those cold, timid souls that neither know victory nor defeat. Why are you here today? Why did you show up? I think you showed up because you have an it's not over until I win mindset. I think you showed up because you have an it's not over until I win attitude about your life. I think you showed up because you're the type of people that's serious about bettering my best. Turn to bettering your best. Turn to someone next to you and say, I'm here to better my best. Yes, yes. We're here to better our best. And in my experience, I've been in the personal growth industry all of my life. The personal growth industry does $12 billion in the US, $64 billion worldwide. And I love our last speaker because he's a part of the LOHAS market. That's the lifestyle of health and sustainability, and that represents a $226 billion market share. And the thing is that there are very few people that come to motivational trainings and seminar and workshops because many people feel like they've already got it figured out. And if you're here today, it's not because something's wrong with you or you're failing or you're broken. You're here today because you are serious. You are hungry about bettering your best. Raise your hand if that's why you're here today. And here's something to remember. Jim Rohn, I call him Uncle Jim, the late, great Jim Rohn, he said something. He said, your life, my life, the lives of each and every one of us will serve as either a warning or an example. A warning of lack of discipline, lack of drive and ambition, or an example of objectives clearly perceived and intensely pursued. I'm not sure what your objective is that you clearly perceive. You might be expanding your dental practice. You might be utilizing your camera and turning your camera into a masterpiece to build a photography business. You might be in a network marketing business. You might be an author, a speaker, a trainer. I don't know who you are. I haven't met you yet. I'd like to, but I know if you're here, you are an it's not over until I win person. And so I'm here to give you my best. I'm here to share with you top secrets from what I've experienced from over 2 decades in the personal growth industry. I'm here because of God and one woman. You might have heard of her. Her name was Mrs. Mamie Brown. Mrs. Mamie Brown was my grandmother. And she didn't have a lot of followers on social media. She never wrote a book, nothing like that. She didn't like to travel. She had a 3rd grade education. In fact, she was a cafeteria worker. In fact, she was a maid, a domestic worker on Miami Beach. She used to scrub the floors of wealthy people. But see, Mamie Brown, she had something that we all have, and we're going to be going through it. I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 curriculums of greatness. And she had that first thing, and I'm sure the people in here do. Mamie Brown had a dream. A big dream. It might seem little to you, but it was a big dream for her. And her dream changed the world. Her dream was not to become an author, was not to do anything too major. She just wanted to be a mother. She just wanted to be a mother. But there was a problem. She wasn't married. She didn't have a husband. She didn't have steady income. But her heart was bigger than Warren Buffett's bank account. So she adopted 2 children, and then 5 more, 7 in total. And the first 2 children that she adopted, they were twins. And one of them, his name was Les Brown. And they grew up in Liberty City. It's an impoverished area in Miami, Florida. And Les Brown had a dream too. His dream was to buy his adopted mother a home. Anyone in here that want to do something nice for their parents? That's part of their dream. Well, that was his dream. Everybody say dream. Dream. No. Say it like you know what a dream is. Everybody say dream. Dream. Yes, see, your dream represents the data of your identity. Your dream represents who you are. When you look in the mirror at those flesh and bones, you are not that flesh and bones. You are not how you look in the mirror. You are your dreams. And we all know this because there are people in our lives that when we're pursuing our dreams, when we're pursuing our objectives, sometimes they don't understand us. They're looking at our face, but they can't see our dream. Does anyone know what it's like to have a dream? I'm talking about a big dream that keeps you up in the middle of the night. I'm talking about a big dream that makes you step on your alarm clock before it goes off. I'm talking about a big dream to say, hey, if I just had an opportunity, if somebody would just give me a shot, then I can live my dream. Does anybody know what that's like? Yes. Maybe Brown knew what that was like. And she got her shot. And because she was a parent, she used to sell moonshine. She got arrested just to put food on the table for her adopted kids. Because she was a parent that refused to let my dad join the gang, that refused to let him go out there drinking with the other kids, fooling around in the street, because she had love. Everybody say love. Love. Yes, your dream is something that makes you fall in love with yourself. Your dream is something that makes you fall in love with life. And maybe Brown's dream changed the world. Because of that dream, our family has done over $100 million in the personal growth industry. Wow. But I'm not here to talk to the dreamers, because many people, especially the high achievers in this room, they know what it's like to live their dreams. Raise your hand if you know what it's like to live your dreams. I know you do, Anton. I know you do, Riyadh. I know you do. See, when Riyadh came here and he was trying to clean floors and asking people, Joe, he had a dream, but now he's beyond the dream now. How many of you all know Riyadh's beyond the dream? And here's something to write down. And one of my favorite quotes, it says, stretch yourself, because you can't fit a big dream into a small life.
Come on.
Stretch yourself, because you cannot fit a big dream into a small life. And the reason why some people are not here is because they don't have a big dream. But if you are here, it's because you don't have a small life. Give yourselves a round of applause. So your dreams represent who you are. It's the data of your identity. But when you take action on a dream, when you turn that napkin idea into an executive summary, when you go and pick out your first offices and your locations, when you develop a marketing plan, when you start to hire employees, when you start to turn those ideas into income, you move to the next phase and you stop just dreaming about it. And I'm sorry, if you're just a dreamer, you might as well leave the room now, because I'm not here to talk to the dreamers. I'm here to talk to the people that have evolved beyond the dream. And so after the dream, everybody say dream. Dream. Give me that energy, everybody say dream. Dream. After you have a dream, then you start to step into your destiny. Yeah. Raise your hand if you know what it's like to have a destiny. If you're doing something that you were born to do. If you're in an industry where you didn't know how it was going to work out in the beginning, but all of the things got lined up at just the right time for you to work out, for you to bring your dream to life. And many people, when they don't take action, they don't graduate to that next level, and they get stuck in their dreams, and their dreams turn into a nightmare. Do you know anybody that had a dream, they didn't take action, and they just got stuck there, so they stopped dreaming? And that's unfortunate. And here's something to remember about your destiny. See, dreams represent who you are, but destiny is all about what? What? What does it take? What is it going to cost? What type of financial commitment? What type of time commitment? What do I have to read? What type of ticket do I have to go? Where do I have to go? Whatever I've got to do to bring my dream to life, I'm not just trying to do it. I'm not talking about it. I'm doing it. I love the quote by Mark Zuckerberg. He said, people don't care about what you say. They only care about what you build. And so if you have a destiny, you're not just talking about it. You're actually building something. You're building something that hopefully will last the test of time. So here's something to write down. If you don't claim your destiny, see, you've got to live your dream, but you've got to claim your destiny. You've got to talk about it, even when people try to rush you. You've got to go out and meet people. You've got to network. You've got to do it 24/7. You talk about it, you talk to yourself to overcome the doubt, to overcome the negative internal conversation. Anybody ever had to talk themselves into their destiny? They had to claim their destiny before it was even there? Yes, yes, you claimed your destiny. Now remember this, if you don't claim your destiny won't claim you. If you don't claim your destiny, if you don't start your nonprofit organization, if you don't write that book, if you don't start that after-school program, if you don't actually turn that idea into multiple streams of income, then your destiny won't claim you. And I don't believe that we were just born to live, go to school, pay bills, and die. I refuse to accept that. I believe that everyone was born with a unique destiny. Remember this, everybody's born unique, but most of us die copies. Everybody's born unique, but most of us die copies. So first you've got the dream. Everybody say dream. Dream. Then you've got the destiny. Everybody say destiny. Destiny. How many of you all know that it's your destiny to be in this room today? It's a part of your destiny. You're not here by mistake. Yes, destiny. And then finally, the last stage, you move into that next stage. The stage where you develop what Warren Buffett calls a durable, sustainable advantage. After you have the dream and the destiny, then you learn how to create a dynasty. Everybody with power and conviction say, I am building a dynasty. I am building a dynasty. That's where you create generational wealth, where generation after generation after generation, people are blessed just to be in your bloodline. That's what Mamie Brown did. And to create a dynasty, you can't ask yourself what you're going to get, what are you going to drive, how many followers do you want to have. Ask yourself this question. Remember this. How will the world be different? Because you were born. So part of the way that I'm maximizing this year is I want to work with people that have a dynasty. I want to work with people that are serious about creating generational wealth. I've launched what is called It's Your Time Academy. Everybody say, it's my time. It's my time. And I want to work with you if you're serious about your goals and dreams. I want to be your mentor. I want to be your coach. I want to join forces. I want you to join the Brown Dynasty. And for 90 days, with accountability, we will get all of the ideas about that you have in your head, regardless of what industry that you're in. If you're looking to be successful, you need a Brown on your team. And we work together for less than the price of Riyadh shoes. How much your shoes cost, Riyadh? Tell them. Yeah, you're going now. So starting in February, the It's Your Time Academy costs $1,000 a month. But for those that take action today, that are seriously committed, and we only have a few spots left because my time is valuable. How many of you all know my time is valuable? And I know your time is valuable. So for 90 days, we're not going to waste any time. We will get more done in 90 days than most people achieve in 365 days.
Yes.
Yeah. Guaranteed. And you can go to lesbrownjr.com right now or talk to my assistant who's in the back of the room right there, and we will begin working. But guess how much the price is? It's just $100 a month right now. So raise your hand if you've got a mentor or a coach that you're paying for right now. Right now. Yes. Okay, great. Lisa Nichols was on the Oprah Winfrey Show. And during the break, Oprah, you know Lisa Nichols? My sister Lisa Nichols. It's okay, just shake your head. And during the break, Oprah asked her, say, hey Lisa, how many mentors do you have? She thought she was saying something. She said, I got 4. She said, Then Lisa said, let me ask Oprah how many mentors does she have? She said, Oprah, how many do you have? She said, I got 7. Lisa said, what am I doing with 4 mentors if Oprah's got 7? And I believe right now there's a war going on. It's not a war between the Warriors and the Lakers or nothing like that. No. It's not a war between China and Russia, nothing like that. It's a war between the critics versus the mentors. Some people are living their lives on the couch, and all they can do is criticize others. All they can do is critique others. All they can do is talk about LeBron, or all they can do is talk about other then they're speechless. And so right now, we need the mentors to start winning the war and to start outworking the critics. And that's what I'm planning to do. So I want to partner with you. I want you to join the First Family of Motivation because it's your time to build your dynasty. Now here's something to remember about Alvin Toffler. He said the new illiterates of the world are not the ones that cannot read and write. Oh no. The new illiterates of the world are the ones that cannot learn, unlearn, and then relearn. Ooh. The new illiterates of the world are not the ones that cannot read and write. The new illiterates of the world are what? The ones that cannot learn, what else? Unlearn, and then relearn. The next 90 days of this year, look at it and ask yourself, not what do you want to do? Not what would it be nice to do? Ask yourself, what do you have to do? I have to speak. I have to keep Mamie Brown's legacy alive. And the thing that changed my life more so than any seminar or workshop, and I appreciate environments like this and my good brother Sammy. I see him holding his son in his arms. And the thing that changed my life, that's got me so fired up, is because I became a dad. What's your name? Kathy, Miss Kathy. When my son was born, before he got here, I was so fearful. I did not know if I would be able to give him all of the privileges that I grew up with. And I just was a little scared. But when he was born and he opened his eyes for the first time, I was right there. And I looked at him and I said, there's greatness in you. And in my heart, I tell you the truth, in my heart, I said, it's not over until you win. And I want to say the same thing to you for 90 days. It's not over until you win. Until you win in your business. Until you win on social media. Until you win building your tribe. It's not over until you win. In closing, I want to share something that I'm going to have the privilege of hearing my son Honor present tomorrow. He's got his first speech tomorrow. He's 5 years old and he makes $500 for a 5-minute speech. We got 3 days on the calendar. And my grandmother used to love to hear my dad say it, and my grandmother wasn't there to watch me when I spoke at Harvard or attended Harvard. She wasn't there to read my best-selling book. She wasn't there when we won an Emmy or anything like that. But I feel like she's in me to this day. And I know she will be proud when she hears this 5-year-old say these words. And I want to leave this with you, and I want to share this with you. And if there's anyone in here that feels me in your heart, anyone in here that would like to be a part of the It's Your Time Academy, I want to be on your team. I'm hungry for your business because that $100 is a minimum investment. It's not cost prohibitive for a reason, but I want some bragging rights. I want some bragging rights.
That's right.
That's what I'm in it for. And it says, in closing, the piece my grandmother used to love to hear my father say, and now I love to hear my son say it. And he makes me look like an amateur when he speaks. If you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it, if all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it. And if you'll badly sweat for it, and fret for it, and plan for it, and lose all your terror of the opposition for it. And if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope and confidence, and stern pertinacity. If neither cold, poverty, sickness, and pain of body and brain can keep you away from that thing that you want. If dogged and grim, you besiege and beset it, with the help of God, you will get it. This is the next part that you want to make it our friends that you want to have a pleasure as well as a privilege. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Was that awesome or what? Let's hear it from Let's Rap Junior. You guys, I'm really excited for this next part. I really enjoyed this entire day. Have you guys enjoyed the day? It's been amazing. I'm really excited about this next part because we can have a little bit quiet. Everybody can wait down the front here. This next part is really exciting for me because 3 years ago, it was December 26th of 2015, during my year of fears, that I decided I was going to hold an event called the Speakers Open Mic, giving people an opportunity to stand on the stage. Now I really hadn't spoken that much myself, but I knew that I wanted to give myself opportunity as well as other people. And so I was talking to Sammy, what? You guys all hugging? Like, let's all hug. It's a hug fest.
We will all hug in just 2 minutes. All right.
You want a 2-minute hug fest?
Yes.
Okay, well, we're going to go right into it. So the Speakers Open Mic, what's really cool about this is some of our speakers have never spoken on a stage before. So I want to make sure that when you are listening to them, that you're actually listening to them. Please give them a big round of applause because it takes a lot to get up here and stand in front of people. So I'm going to introduce to you our 5 speakers that we have. We'll have come up one at a time. They're going to have 4 minutes each and to share whatever it is they're going to share with us, okay? So our first speaker is Joy. She's been interested in personal development since the 1970s. Oh my God, I remember those like Angel's Flight pants that men wear, you know, and stuff like that. Okay, so under the tutelage of a nationally known hypnotist and author, she began her studies and practice of hypnosis in the 1980s. I'm going to ask you guys if you can take that outside, please. Thank you. Come on, take it outside, please. Thank you. In 1993, she completed her first neuro-linguistic programming in-depth course and emerged as an NLP practitioner with an office on the East Coast. Currently, Joy is leading certification trainings in NLP and hypnosis, as well as timeline therapy in the U.S. and Canada. Between her ongoing coaching programs and individual breakthrough sessions, clients experience lasting, effective success. You guys, let's put your hands together for Joy. Joy
Hi, it's a little hard to follow after John Wesley Brown, right?
We love you, Joy.
Huh?
We love you.
I know, I love you guys too. I love me, I love you all too. So, and thank you, Sammy, for inviting me to come speak. So, I'm going to tell you a quick story. Is that okay? Like a fairy tale story. Is that okay? You guys can close your eyes if you want to. So, I love fairy tales. I love stories. So once upon a time, there was a little boy, and he lived in a cabin in the woods, way out in the middle of nowhere. And he was an only child, so he had a lot of land on his land there, and he'd go out and wander down to the brook, and he would sit there, and he'd watch how the birds flew and made their nests. He'd talk to the little foxes that came by, and he'd watch the brook, how it changed. In the wintertime, it became hard and frozen. He'd take a stick and go chap, chap, and watch it crack. And in the summertime, he'd sit by the banks and smell the flowers and watch all of the waters going by lazily and beautifully. And this little boy grew up, and he moved to the big city, big strange world. And he was in this big city, and there were the big skyscrapers, and there were sounds of buses and people, and he was still in awe and wonder. Where am I? This new landscape. And he walked over to this immense building, and he started climbing up these stairs. And this was this immense city's public library, and he was walking up the stairs, all the way up, up to those doors, those big heavy doors that he was about to open. Well, about 40 years ago, actually, really 40 years ago, I had an experience that changed my life, which is why I ended up doing what I do. And I ended up having to ride in an ambulance with my twin sister. We were best friends. And I was riding with her in an ambulance to a mental hospital. She had just had a nervous breakdown. And that impacted my life. It changed my whole entire family's life. My mother ended up dying of pancreatic cancer a few years later, and said on her deathbed it was the only way that she thought she could get the situation moving with my sister, who was a chocolate mess for about 20 years. And my mom died, and I was there to help out with my father and my other siblings. And I was like, how do our minds work? What's the correlation between somebody being well and thinking about things in a healthy way? And what can I do to make a change? So I ended up getting involved in these arts of hypnosis and then the new kid on the block, NLP, and timeline therapy. It became a passion. I wanted to understand how our minds worked and in correlation with our hearts and our emotions. Did you know how much of our brain we're using consciously? Did you know that they now say we're only using 10 to 3% of our brains consciously. So everything else is happening out of our awareness. Isn't that amazing? And so that's a scary thought, actually, and one that I'm passionate about helping people with, to train them, to teach them about, as well as for myself, to learn even more. All of these magic tricks, I call them magic tricks. So it's something that everybody can learn how to take charge in their own life. John Jubilee was talking about our health, and everybody has that capacity also because the unconscious mind runs everything in the body. It is running everything in the body, and it's in charge of our emotions and our negative feelings and our good feelings and our sense of time. It is running who we are. So I'd like to offer to you folks, anybody that wants to learn a little more about, I have an upcoming hypnosis training in February. That's the 8th through the 9th, the 8th through the 10th, and I do retreat-style trainings, as well as I do breakthrough sessions for people. And it's my passion. And come back and sign up for a free 30-minute laser coaching if you'd like, just to learn about you, for your business, and for yourselves personally. So, anyway.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Joy. Awesome. Okay, so our next speaker, Renee Reich. I said it right. Renee helps women find their voice. You know, we need this. We need people to help us to find our voice. Because I don't know if you guys noticed, but most of the speakers here, the majority, are men. So we need you women to find your voice and get you on these stages. And yeah, let's hear it, Michael. So Renee, come on up and let's hear for Renee.
Thank you so much for having me, Sandy. Wherever you are, you must be out in front there. for having me here today. I just wanted to start with a question. How many here have ever lost their voice? Right, we've all had laryngitis at one point or another, yes? We can agree on that. So imagine having no voice and being unable to be with the public for not one, not two, but for 3.5 months. That happened to me. I became a prisoner in my own body. I was working retail back in for many years, but 2013, and it was a Christmas season, so I was working late hours, and I went to my car feeling really sick. I had a terrible sore throat. I took myself to urgent care the next morning. I told the doctor I felt like I had a sore in my throat instead of a sore throat. She said, "You do, right in the center." I went home the next day. I went back. That one sore apparently had given birth overnight. My throat was riddled with sores. I said, "How many are there now?" She knew me well enough to know that I would freak out if she told me. So she didn't tell me, but that said a lot. She told my best friend and I, who had taken me to the doctor, she said, "You need to go right to the ER." I get to the ER. He tests me for all these illnesses. I felt like I was back on Little House on the Prairie because I couldn't even fathom the things he was checking me for. Luckily, I didn't have any of those, but I did have something called viral pharyngitis. If you look it up, it's like a really bad sore throat. This was like a 10x or 100x of that. I couldn't swallow, and I'm gonna be a little graphic, excuse this, but I had to spit out my own saliva because it was less painful than swallowing. Because swallowing, and I don't even eat steak, but it felt like steak knives going down my throat. I would wake up crying in the middle of the night in tears of agony. I didn't know why this happened to me. What's this saying? If God brings you to it, He brings you through it. There's a reason. I had no clue in 2013 what that reason was. It's been over 5 years since that virus happened and attacked my body. I now know what that reason was. I have 2 angels with me today. One is my best friend who got me through with the help of the good Lord above. She passed July 19th of 2017, my best friend in the world. So I lost my voice in 2013. That job of 25 years in February of 2017. My dad, a few weeks ago. "Dad and Chris, I found my voice. I have my voice back. I'm here to let you know not to give up, not to give in. And I can help you. I feel a strong affinity towards women to help them find their voice. Even though I lost mine physically, how many have lost theirs metaphorically? I too also had lost it metaphorically. And I have found mine and want to help those others out there find theirs as well. Thank you so much and God bless.
Thank you. Let's hear it for Renee. Awesome. I don't know about you guys, but my legs are a little bit sore from doing 40 squats, you know? I'm like, oh, I got 60 points because I'm wearing heels though. Okay. Okay, so our next speaker up is Eric Zuley, The Easy Way. Many of you. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so the next speaker is Eric Zuley, and I'm about to unroll a big scroll right now because he's accomplished so much that you would think that he must have learned how to duplicate himself, because there's just so much that he's done. So bear with me here as I read through this very impressive man's accomplishments. So he's the top 10 social media influencer in the world, recognized by Congress. Hollywood Weekly magazine honored him as the 2017 Digital Trailblazer. He's honored the co-founder of creator of Make-A-Wish, Frank Shankwitz, and several others. He owns his own social network, EasyWayFam.com, several YouTube channels, one of which has over 14 million views. He created the Easy Way Wall of Fame with over 75 celebrity influencers and heartpreneurs. His company, Easy Way Promotions, has worked with America's Got Talent, Domino's Pizza, David Hasselhoff's ex-wife, that's a show, to name a few. He's produced over 250 red carpet events, and his company has helped raise millions through Easy Way Cares. He is host of KDOC and KXLA Television, Voice America and iTunes, and is the 2019 Family Film Awards host, along with over 50 other stages. He's CMO of Evander Holyfield's family's TV distribution, overseeing 14 channels, of which his own Easy Way TV has graced the cover of Hollywood Weekly, influential People magazine. He's been seen in Fox, ABC 7, E! Extra, and several other covers of magazines. He was the face of Axe Body Spray and acted in an 8-time Emmy Award-winning show called The Bay. Recently, he just joined forces with NFL Hall of Fame inductee Tim Brown, creating the solution for fundraising, the Easy Way Smart Giving Visa debit card, which he's going to share with us, known as the Influencer Whisperer, multimedia mogul for the last 15 years. He self-built a social media empire and household online, the Easy Way. Mr. Eric Zuley, and just as you'll see how quickly these popped up, that seems to be the speed at which he accomplishes all these things. It's amazing. So, and he's also an amazing dancer. So I don't know if he's going to share that with us or not. Please give a huge warm welcome to Mr. Eric Zuley.
Oh, the music's on. Okay. I forget. I'm older now. Hold on. Remember doing that about 10 years ago. I remember having a lot more breath. Okay. So first and foremost, we give you a round of applause because you said this was your first time hosting. This is your first time doing that. Last minute reading. See, that was my test for her. I gave her like a book. No. Hey everybody, I'm Eric Zuley.
Eric!
Raise your hand if you did the easy way. Yeah. Oh, cool, the whole room. All right. You guys, when I say easy, you say way. Easy. Way. Easy. Way. One more time with conviction. Just I'm going after Les Brown Jr. Come on, make me look good. Easy. Way. What's up? What's up, John? I'm glad I invited him to this event, man. We got that on content, put on Easy Way TV. All right, guys, well, nice to meet you. So this is a social media experts event, right? You want to learn about social media? So, let me see. We got to figure out the crowd here and what you guys know. Who knows about metatagging? Okay. Oh, there's one. Who knows about hashtag? Loud. Okay, there we go. Who knows about bots? Okay, more than I thought so. Who knows about SEO? Okay. Still a lot of breath, man. I gotta exercise more. Okay. So, Miss Teresa Snyder, everybody. You spoke earlier, right? I watched it live from Tamara Hunter, man. Guys, let's give a round of applause to Tamara Hunter. Seriously, like, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm going to officially dub Tamara Hunter the live stream queen. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you don't know who Tamara is, she's someone you want want to have at your event. Because if she's at your event, all the eyeballs are at your event. Just like all my Easy Way fam out there, which I was supposed to go live, and my live, where's the guy that came up? Oh, yeah, thank you. What's your name?
Michael.
I'm going to interview you in front of millions of people on ABC or KXLA. Thank you. So, before I get started, before I go into social media, before I go into all the tips, and all the cool little golden gadgets, and call me the Inspector Gadget of social media. Somebody give me that one, that's kind of cool. I'm going to tell you guys what I'm going to do for you. And before I do that, I want to say thank you to Sammy. When I say Sam, you say me. Just kidding. Sammy, you pulled off a great event. I've been doing events for about 15 years. It's not easy. No pun intended. You rocked it, man. 7,500 people or something like that? Good list? Yes, sir. Speaking of list, if you like anything that I say today up on stage, go over there to that piece of paper, put your name, your phone number. We're doing interviews when I'm done. If you guys want to get interviewed on iLaunch Television, KXLA, KDOC, Amazon, Apple, Roku, it goes on and on. We reach over 500 million people. Easy Way Network. So, we have a little gift for you guys. So text PROMOTE to the number 55678 if you're interested, or go right there. See, all right, this man is going to be my star for today. What's your name?
Aaron.
Aaron.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. You got it rocking. I love it. All right, so social media, what is it, and how do you really use it for your advantage? What's the main thing you guys want to learn about social media? Like, just get me started, because I know everything. Just kidding. Huh? Just, well, that's my dad. I really want to know the audience. That's my dad, by the way, holding the camera. Isn't that cool? Yeah. All right, so let's just go into actually making money with social media. How do you really use it? I personally use that. And while I'm talking about what I'm telling you guys about, again, this is just my experience. I may be right, I may be wrong. But while I'm talking about it, if you agree with me, just raise your hand so I know I'm doing good, and I'll keep staying on my subject. Okay. All right, so Messenger. How many of you guys use Messenger like religiously? I saw a lot of hands that didn't go up. No, that is the #1 tool on any type of social media platform known to man. LinkedIn, Facebook. Oh, Instagram. Yeah, Instagram does it too now. And Easy Way Fam, if you guys want to check out my social network, easywayfam.com. Why is that the #1 way to engage and get business? Exact words, I said engage. I have made more money by actually walking up to somebody and saying, hey, how you doing? I'm Eric. What's your name? Mikey. Nice to meet you. Mikey is a good influencer, by the way. You guys definitely want to network with him. And everybody else. I want to walk through the audience and meet all you guys. What am I going to do afterwards? Which is key. I can show you guys a lot of cool tools and bots and automated fun stuff. But I want to talk to you guys about something everybody has that you don't need to pay for. Messenger. Why? Because it's direct engagement. And it's talking to them like a human being. It's that simple. It's saying, hey, this is what I do. This is what you do. Let's engage. Let's make it work for each other. Let's make it a win-win. Right? So finding the key is what's the win-win between each relationship. You guys ever done that? Using Messenger is actually engaging. Because too many people get a business card, drop a business card, go back to their work. You know, they don't actually follow up and go on Messenger and meet the people and do the business. Second thing, how many people use groups on Facebook or LinkedIn or anything? I see 2 hands. Are you guys kidding me? Groups are the best way to actually reach out and get, right now as we speak, I have my man Noah Brown over there that is going to be meeting all you guys, engaging with all you guys, and I'm going to do a special group. We're going to call the group Sammy Rocks. You guys like that? The group's going to be called Sammy Rocks, or Sammy Family. How about that? I like that one, Sammy Family. Yeah. So we're going to do a Sammy Family group, and everybody in here, I'm going to know all of you guys. I'm going to interview all you guys. We're going to do business. And I'm going to use one simple free tool, which is Facebook Messenger, making a group. If you guys don't know how to do that, come to me, come to any of our team. We'll show you how to do that. It's that simple. It's literally that simple to just use a Facebook group and follow up. Second thing, how many of you guys blog? Who does blogging? 3 hands, 2 hands. 1, 2 hands. Man, this is gonna be fun. Okay. So, blogging is one of the #1 tools that makes you money. Did you know that? Blogging is how you actually make money. Why? Because if you take your content and you put it directly onto Facebook, who's making the money? Exactly. You're giving your money away when you put it directly onto a platform. So you want to blog, if anybody wants to check out my blog, ericsillyblog.com, real simple. I have over 200,000 followers in that blog, and you'll see me blogging all the time. Hey, I just used the bathroom, and I came up with this idea. No, I'm not that bad. But I come up with everything, okay? So blogging, and it's real simple. Guess what, guys? You go to wordpress.com. It's free. You make a blog, real simple. Or if you go to Blogger, one of the best ways. And then you tap in your social media to the blog. How do you make money? Google AdSense, going to somebody. I actually just met somebody the other day, and I made $500 just to blog. Why? Because the substance and the content that we created shows that it meets their market and shows that we're the real deal and all that stuff, and that guy made $1,000. So, when you guys go home, who's going to go make a blog? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, there we go. All right, cool. Blogging. So what's the third most important thing on social media? See, I'm trying to stick to your topic, man. This is social media convention, social media ideas. Third thing, content creation. Why have you guys not pulled out your cell phone and gone live? Because I'm on stage right now. Okay. I'm not that conceited. I'm practicing my comedy thing here, so just humor me, okay? So, go live. Camera's going live, of course. I'm going to tell you guys what. If you go live, I'm going to show you guys a secret that can make you a lot of money. It's called the power of the dollar. And it works. Literally, every night you go to sleep, you're making dollars. It's really cool. It's you figure out the win-win. People pay you $1 every month. It's very, very low money. So you can charge $100, $1,000, or you can charge $1. And figure out a simple way to make it a win for that person. And so blogging, Messenger, is this good information for you guys? Am I going in a good direction? Okay. Content creation. Every single one of you guys should be taking a picture with that man over there. And this man right here. And that woman over there, and that woman over there, and that one over there, and that man, and really everybody should be taking a picture with one another. Wanna know why? Because every one of you guys have followers. And every one of you guys can get more followers by attaching to content, tagging, meta tagging, SEO. Very important. I'm going to take a picture with everyone. In fact, I have my cell phone right now. I'm doing a selfie. That would be perfect. But my man over there is doing it live. How do you doing, family? All right, so let's go into hashtagging. Let's go into actually starting a trend, starting something that people follow that's not your actual profile, that's not your actual website. Just a simple hashtag, number sign, easy way. Very powerful. You know what that actually is? Who knows what that means? Who knows what that is? See, you guys lied to me. You said that you knew what hashtag was. Okay, just kidding. This is creating a trending Google ranking group and trend of a brand that people can follow for free. That's what social media does for you. I have over 10,000 people following this on social media and millions on Google. Search results, hundreds of millions. Just because that name right there isn't just me. Easy Way Plumbing, Easy Way to everybody. But that's one of the reasons I chose that. My name's Eric Zulli. I chose the brand that works. Little E, big Z, you always know it's me. Okay? So, what 4 things you got? I just want to make sure you guys are listening to me because this is good advice. And she raise your hands. Okay, so who can tell me the 4 things I just told you guys that are really important in social media? I have a prize for you. Let's see all the hands go up. Blogging, messenger, technical content creation, and hashtagging. All those go together. Can I tell you guys my story? How I got started? You want to hear that?
No.
I love this part because I actually know what I'm talking about now. No more freestyle. Okay. So when I first started, I was in music. I was in music producing. I loved being a performer. I actually started out in sales before that. I know everything there is to know about sales. That's another reason why we're pretty good in a place where we have millions of followers and we're making good money and it's residual income and there's so many people following us. Sales, I'm going to get into that too, but when we I was doing music producing and rapping and all that stuff, I ended up meeting, I just got told I had 2 minutes after I waited for like 2 hours. I'll go quick. So anyway, I met this producer and he was with Fox and all this stuff, and he told me that, hey, I'm gonna give you your chance. I walked up to him and I said, hey, I want my chance to host. I want my chance to meet people. I want my chance to get in the spotlight. I saw it for the first time. And he said, well, you need to be a people person. I said, okay, let me show you how I'm a people person. So I walked around the venue and I met everybody I possibly could. I got every different business card I had, and I walked up to that guy. Is this people person enough for you? Honest to God, that was the story. That's how I met. And so I met Morris Day at the time. That was the first time I got involved. I met all these people. I got a microphone, and I got addicted. I love this thing. It's the most powerful tool you'll ever use in your life to get your message out there and make things happen. So I have a very short amount of time, so I'm going to tell you guys this. We have just created a card that gives back. It is a revolutionary way to give back to nonprofit. Tamara's organization, Chemo Buddies for Life, is one of our organizations. I had Billy Moore here, which is Archie Moore's son, who was going to speak for you guys, but unfortunately he had to leave. And if you don't know who Archie Moore is, he's Guinness Book of World Records, one of the biggest world champions of all time. And we represent and work with his organization. We work with Stedman Graham's organization, and actually one of his people is right here with us. You guys, everybody say hi. What's your name? Porter. You guys, this is a big deal. She's here. We got Denise O'Brien. She's here, president of iLaunch Global.
Hello.
And Patty Sadler, which is NOCP Publishing, and she has her own show. Watch and see what we do with her. Patty, say hi.
Hey.
So I want to go along with everybody. Bill Brown and Tamara and Teresa tonight. Now here's one more thing I'm going to tell you guys. It's not about you, it's about everybody else. I created the digital handshake effect, which is a way to make it win for everybody else, to promote everybody else, to make it a win-win for everybody else. Serve first, don't be selfish, and you get back. Okay? And I have what's called the Easily family. And thank you all of my Easily family, all of my supporters, all the people that came out to support me, all the people out there in Facebook land that's watching right now that supports. I love you guys with all my heart. You have no idea. I wanted to go into stories about God, stories about situations where I almost died 3 times. My dad almost died of lymphoma cancer, and the faith. I mean, let me just say this one thing. I love this man right here, Andrew Bloom. This man right here is an amazing gentleman. And he was branding me since I wasn't here since 8 o'clock in the morning. That hat has been there, that logo's been there the whole time. People have been live streaming, and he's been rocking that hat. And that's God right there, man. God's like, here, I'm gonna give you a gift. That's powerful branding right there, by the way. Watch and see what resourcing and leveraging does. Guys, if you don't know me, follow me on social media. Watch and see what we do with resourcing and leveraging, and what money we make our clients, and how we do the easy way. So easywaypromotions.com, if you want to check us out, please come over here, put your information down. We're going to interview you on television, iLaunch Television, Amazon, Apple, Roku, KXLA Television, KDOC, which is out here in Orange County, Los Angeles. We're here for you. We're here for Sammy. So I'm going to go ahead and say thank you for the opportunity, power of appreciation. I'm so... Oh, the commercial. Yeah, we're giving away a commercial. Anybody want a commercial worth $25,000? Thank you for reminding me, Denise. I'm trying to be respectful of the time since I need to get off here, but how would you guys like to win a commercial for $25,000 and value like that, right? How would you guys like to get a session with me or get on my show on KDOC and KXLA Television? Go ahead and just fill your information out. We'll get back with you, and we're going to do interviews with you today. If you want to see my dad right there, Dad, raise your hand, say hi. Yes. Shout outs to all the Easyway influencers. John, you did your thing, and even Linda Sunshine. So I'm going to go ahead and let her sunshine raise and push my way. And I love you guys. Thank you so much.
You guys make sure you sign up here. Don't forget to come up. We're going to have 3 more open mic speakers. And then we're going to take a break, I think. I don't know. I'm not in charge of the event. I'm just doing this part of it. Are we taking a break after the open mic?
I think we can keep going.
Well, we're going to keep going. Okay, so if you need to take a bathroom break when you want. You're adults. Okay, so our next speaker coming up is David Smith. David is on a mission. Not everybody. I didn't mean it. Oh my God, where are you guys going? Are you coming back? Okay, David is on a mission to help people get out of their money rut, become debt-free, and finally own their life. He's the guy with the crazy jacket today. Come on, David, up to the stage. Let's hear it for
Am I on? Everybody hear me? All right, there we go. Now we're hearing me. Okay, so thank you for the opportunity to be here. I know it's been a motivating day. It's been a long day, but it's been motivating. You guys, you're going to do the EDGE method. I think Ash is back there. You're going to, you're motivated. You're going to do the EDGE. You're going to get that $7 million YouTube channel. You're going to show up and blow up. And Les Brown Jr. just motivated the hell out of everybody. And it's just going to you're just ready to go. Except when Monday and Tuesday rolls around, you're not. You're going to find yourself back in your living room, sitting on a couch in your underwear, eating Fruit Loops while you're binging your favorite Netflix show. And it just is going to happen that way. And why? It's because of your programming. You see, we go to these events all the time, and we get great strategies, and we get great ideas, and we get great business plans, and we get motivation. And we get away from here, and every single one of us has experienced the fact that you don't follow through on anything you learned in that. And that's because from the moment that you were born, everything that you heard, everything that you've seen, everything that you've listened to, whatever, has been programmed by your brain. Now, it's not all stored, your brain's not that big, but the messages that you hear over and over and over again create your programs. Your programs create your thoughts create your actions, and your actions create your results or lack of them. Now, in my case, I was raised very, 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 very lower middle class. I would say even poor. So financially, for me, my example is financial programming. My financial programming sucked. And even though my whole life I never wanted to be like that, I found myself at very close to my 50th birthday, and I was still working a job I didn't like. I was thousands of dollars in debt. I had failed over and over again in businesses and couldn't figure out why. Well, I was working with a mentor, and he said, this guy had the Midas touch. Literally, anything he touched, he could turn into money. And he said, I can teach you how to make money, but you're probably still going to fail because of what's in your head. And he introduced me to a book that someone else mentioned here tonight. It's called What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. And Dr. Shad Helmstetter has been talking about this for 25 years before neuroplasticity became a thing. And basically, in the short amount of time that I have, we know now that you can change your programs. The same way that you got all those negative programs in your life, the same way that you have all those mediocre programs in your life, you can change those programs to be positive in your life and now have positive success. If you change your inputs over a long enough period of time, the brain will form new neural pathways that will form new programs, that will form new, better thoughts, that will form new, better actions, and finally get you the new, better results. I know this because I failed in businesses over and over and over again. Even the time that I thought I was going to succeed, I know we have a real estate investor here. I bought a house in Vegas at the medium part of the market, sold it at the top of the market, put $95,000 in my bank account. Woohoo! And within a year and a half, with my wonderful business savvy, I managed to turn that $95,000 into $35,000 in debt. And I was on the verge of bankruptcy. But since learning the value of self-talk and reprogramming my mind for success, now I run a six-figure Amazon business, among other things, out of the living room of my home. And with the short time I have left, if you want to connect with me and learn more, my website is thatweirdsuitguy.com. Connect with me on Facebook that way. If you have 5,000 friends, you know some of them are losers. Delete them and friend me instead. We're connected on LinkedIn now, but don't pay attention to any of that profile because that's David 1.0. David 2.0 is much better, and I'm working on my LinkedIn profile.
And if you want to get access to streaming self-taught audios that will change your life in as little as 3 weeks, 30 days, I can give everybody that connects with me on Facebook 30 days free to streaming recorded positive self-taught. Change your programs, you'll change your thoughts, you'll change your actions, you'll change your results, you'll change your life. My name is Aaron Smith. Thank you so much.
Let's hear it for David. Awesome. You know what's funny is I'm standing there, my legs are getting a little bit comfortable, right? And then I go to run over here, they don't want to run because really, they are really burning from that exercise we did earlier. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, our next speaker is Veronica. Veronica is the CEO of You Rise Movement. When you clearly know who you are and who is very next for you. Veronica, come up, because I'm sorry, I can't read it. Veronica's amazing, okay? So Veronica, I met her at, I don't even know what event, but she's really amazing, and she has this really charismatic personality. So let's welcome Veronica to the stage.
Let's start with my presentation. Veronica Rosenthal is CEO of You Rise Movement. When you clearly know who you are and what is very next for you, you rise to your greatness and step to your destiny. I asked Linda, can you read? Linda says, yes, 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 yes. What I'm here to talk to you about is about clarity. I deeply believe that clarity can save the world. Because when you clearly know who you are and what is very next for you, you rise to your greatness and step to your destiny. And I haven't stopped with that. Actually, my path was very clear. When I was born, I've been told by a best doctor in Ukraine that this child will either die, will never talk or walk, and if we will have a very short lifespan. And here I am.
I texted the girl in red my thing.
Not only I outlived this doctor who happened to be my great aunt, I named my daughter after her. And you would think that that's the only adversity that will hit me, but at the age of 3, I haven't spoken until the age of 3, so I won't, but I haven't spoken until the age of 3. At the age of 3, I started speaking, and they put me on adult portion antidepressants because I haven't spoken. I was being 4th generation intuitive, and now I know who I am. I was channeling. So I would come to you and I would tell you all your destiny, blah, 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 blah. And I don't need to talk to you. That's why I haven't talked for the first 3 years. So they put me on adult portion of antidepressants, which create huge social anxiety, taught me that speaking is not safe, and create dyslexia for the rest of my life. So for all of you who can drive, walk, and speak without thinking about it, that's not my life up to nowadays. Nowadays I'm doing much better, but once in a while it still happens. That's why I stay very far from hypnosis. So why is clarity? Because when you clearly know, people talk about business, marketing, social media, but it's all starts with clarity. Because if you don't know what is very next for you and what you represent and what is your destiny is about, there is no social media that will really help you. And so I want to give you 3 tips that usually stops entrepreneurs to move forward to the next level. The tip 1 is connect to your intuition. Your intuition is GPS to your success. Because in order for us to get here, you put the address to GPS and it says right, left, and that's how everything happens. Remember Carlos from earlier? I realized in May of last year that I need a branding specialist, but not the regular branding specialist. The branding specialist understands intuition, can see my huge, huge vision, and can help me. And instead of looking online, I just meditated and spent 2 hours driving to Orange County for lunch for private mastermind, and that's exactly what I'm at here. So step number 2 is your vision, because God and universe never gives you provision, it gives you a vision first. And if your vision is not, and your destiny is not scares you and it looks achievable, it's not big enough. Because usually God gives you a vision that is unachievable and it's for bettering people and not you. And if you do that, everything happens around. And step number 3, even if you have your vision, even if you connect with your intuition, what's missing for you is the blocks, the energetical blocks that we just talked about. Because you are just like a sponge between the age of 0 to 7. You basically just attract everything, and it's all in your subconscious. And as it's all in your subconscious, just like a cell phone, you know, we all have cell phones, right? And the cell phones, we all run programs. And the programs are on create apps. So we have those programs just like a cell phones, but only cell phones, we upgrade them once a week, twice a week. And how often we upgrade our own subconscious, we don't. So here you have a unique chance that I can help you to release and remove these blocks that hold you to the next level. And any of you who would like, I'm gifting you with a clarity session. So come and talk to me, and that's my gift to you. Thank you so much for all your time, and thank you for being here.
Okay, so the next speaker is another amazing powerhouse, and he's been displaying his swag all day, so you can't miss him. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit of what's inside this amazingly well-dressed package. Jeffrey Stansfield is the president of Advantage Video Systems, a leading technology provider to the broadcast motion picture and television industries. Jeff launched AVS in 2001 and has steadily built his clientele by focusing on one customer at a time. His slogan, "How can we make your day perfect?" drives him and his team to empower clients with the latest information and technology solutions. His more than 34 years of experience includes the construction of broadcast facilities. He serves on boards that determines the standards like what is 4K, HDR, and how YouTube streams over the past 17 years. He's completed over 250 TV stations nationwide and is one of the largest builders of video podcast studios. And he also told me that he has danced with Dick Van Dyke and Danny Kaye, right? Woo! Yeah, which is obviously where he gets his style from. So please give a warm welcome to Jeff Stansfield.
Thank you so much. I had a wonderful day here. I got here bright and early, right here set up. I've been doing interviews all day, having a lot of fun, learning a lot. We've heard from a lot of people about social media engagements, about engaging yourself, becoming true to yourself, learning who you are, and becoming a better you. And I think that's a wonderful thing, becoming a better you. And I strive every day to become a better me. Giving back is an important part. I started my business because I needed to give back. I was working for a company, and 9/11 happened, and my boss said, I told my boss, I need to go to New York and help out. I was working with the Red Cross, doing shelters and stuff like that for local VRs. And he said no. And I said yes. And he said no. And I said yes. And he said no. And I said I quit. And I got on a plane and went to New York and worked for 3 weeks, actually 5 weeks, with the Red Cross, helping people recover from 9/11. And I've worked on national VRs for the Red Cross. I've been a Big Brother for 20 years, the Big Brother, Big Sisters. I worked with Komen Search for the Cure for helping women to fight breast cancer. I truly believe that there's a better way than cutting off a woman's breast. I think there's a better way. I think that I work with a lot of things like meeting each people with dignity, a local food bank. I work with other charities. I've built houses with Jimmy Carter for Habitat for Humanity. And what drives me is when I was young, and my great grandmother took me to the Roosevelt Memorial. It read on the black, when you ceased to make a contribution, you began to die. Those words resonated in my entire life, and that's what I live my life for: making contribution, making people better. I've been everything from a chef, from a world-class chef. I'm a broadcast engineer. I've cooked with Jacques Torres and everybody you know and people you don't know. My company has built many TV stations, as she said there. And so I started this thing, and I started my company really to develop this. So we've built and helped some of the leading people in the industry develop it. We work with Warner Brothers and HBO and Showtime. So I'm a true big broadcast engineering expert. I work with Eric Zuley and his team. Eric's a social media guy, and he does all that stuff. Social media is an interesting platform, and I get into it, and I develop it, and I help people with workflows. One of my clients that we've worked with, again, Ben Shapiro, is a political talk show host, and he was making, he was on YouTube making $60,000, $70,000 a month, and you think that's great. Who wouldn't like $60,000, $70,000 a month in income? But YouTube is not the way to go. You had this YouTube. There are ways to use YouTube. When you have a YouTube channel, you are working for YouTube. That's why they call it a YouTube channel. Otherwise, they call it a Joy channel, or a Bill channel, or a Don channel. But they call it a YouTube channel because you are working for YouTube. When you take your own strength, your own platforms, we took Ben off of YouTube, and I'll tell you the secret of what we did with him. What we did for him was we said, you know what? Let's stream the first 15 minutes of your hour show on YouTube and Facebook Live. We did that. And then at the end of that, we said, you know what? There's a link that says if you want to watch this show, click on this link, and you come to our platform. Because if you're on YouTube and you have one subscriber, you know what you get from YouTube? A number one. Okay, you know what you get if you capture that user? You get everything they have. You get all of their metadata. You know how valuable metadata is? Metadata is worth tons and tons of money, and YouTube makes tons and tons of money. So bring those people onto your platform. We brought them on the platform. Then they watched the videos. They clicked on the link, came on the website, enter your name and your email address. That's it. Boom. And they watched the rest of the show, and they loved the show. Then Ben and his team sent them an email saying, "We were so happy you loved our show. Here is a coupon for a free month. Just sign up for the subscription, and you get a free month of our subscriptions." Today, Ben Shapiro has over 300,000 people that subscribe to his channel and pay him $100 a year. That means he makes $30 million in subscriptions alone. That doesn't include ad revenues and sponsorships and book sales and speaking engagements and so on and so forth. He's making $30 million in subscriptions. You know how much you'd make if you were on YouTube and you had 300,000 subscribers? $4,000 once. Okay? Not a so you don't make very much. And YouTube controls what ads. I had a client, Reverie, who's one of the largest gay, lesbian, transgender sites. They were on their site, and they were putting in podcasts, and an anti-gay legislation wanted to put an ad on their thing. YouTube took their money, put it on their subscription. They lost 9,000 subscribers off of one podcast. And YouTube was happy to pay them the $780 for the advertising money. So when you're on there, you need to take control of your business and your future and do this. Now what we do is I am an engineering guru. What I don't know about engineering isn't important. I sit on the stand, as you said earlier, I sit on the standards body, the Society of Motion Picture Intelligent Engineers, and I determine what you look at. When you look at a TV and see 4K, my team that I work on determine that. I write papers every year, I speak at all the conferences and all that. So I am the person who determines what you see. When you see something, me and my team, actually, I'm on the team. I'm not the leader of the teams. I sit on 4 standards bodies and contribute to that. So, you know, so we determine that. And some of the studios we've built are top of the notch. We do everything from entry level to super high end. We grow with our clients. We build studios for them and develop technologies for them, develop workflows like we did for Ben, like we've done for a lot of people, like we've done, right now we're working with Wayne Brady, building a studio for him. We did will.i.am, built a studio for him. will.i.am makes $4.2 million a day. A day. Who out here wants $4.2 million every day? Yeah, absolutely everybody. So, you know, and most of it is to give it, most of that money gives back. But he's building this incredible empire that he's doing. I'm working with the Lennon Bus. One of the people we're rebuilding their Lennon Bus. We've built broadcast trucks for Fox and so on. So we build these big giant things. We also do little things and little projects. And these little podcasting studios are what I am very passionate about right now. And so I've linked up with Denise from the iLaunch TV to develop a very cool broadcasting platform. Eric Zuley is a social media guy on our thing. So we're kind of a team. And this broadcasting thing, as Eric said earlier, we're broadcasting on Apple TV, on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, DirecTV, Comcast, Dish Network. We're on local channel 30, which goes from LA to Las Vegas. 3 million people plus on it. We're all over the place. You know, and if you want to get on there, if you want to develop your own platforms, you can take control of your own platform. Going onto these other platforms like Facebook and YouTube and all that is not the way to take control of your life. Utilize them. Utilize YouTube. Utilize Facebook. Utilize Vimeo. They're powerful engines. But you got to understand, who is your target audience? The average audience for YouTube is under 18. You know, the average audience is between 7 and 18. So if that's so they have other people, but that's your point. You got to look at the demographics of these. It's on the, this is not made up. This is exactly, you go to YouTube, that's what they tell you. You know, so you got to look at who your demographics are. You know how to utilize these platforms, not be used by these platforms. Take control of your business. Take control of your own destiny. As this gentleman said, you gotta take control of your destiny. Your destiny is up to you. No one else is going to do it. YouTube doesn't care about your destiny. The only person who should care the most about your destiny is you, because that is your destiny. You are in charge of your life, and you're responsible. We're all adults, -1. But even the -1, even that little dude, is responsible for his own destiny. He can stand up right now and take control of his own life, and he should be taking control of his life, because that's what his five-year-old kid is going to speak, is taking control of his own life. You're never too young to take control of your own life. My first job was teaching people health care when I was 8 years old. So, okay. So I really want to thank you. My company is Advantage Video Systems. 800-287-5095 is my phone number. I would love to talk with you, help you build your dreams. Thank you so much for having me here. Advantage Video Systems, thank you guys.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you also for doing all the interviews outside, so we want to acknowledge that. Thank you. Okay, put on my glasses. So now I want to introduce Susana Sosa. Susana is passionate about helping and empowering others to live in the greatness. She has her background in psychology and counseling, and has helped young women and men to go from breakdowns and challenges to breakthroughs, transformation, and success. So let's welcome Susana into the stage.
Thank you, Sylvia, and thank you everyone for being here. I know it's late, and so I'm really privileged just to share a couple of minutes with you about myself, if that's okay. okay with you and what I'm up to and my passion. You know, I also want to really thank everyone for being here and saying yes to your life and really just for holding up the space so that all of us can share our passions and what we're up to. And, you know, even though we're nervous and scared, you know, we're still up here and really just sharing what we're here to do and how we can make an impact. And so just a little bit about myself. I am from, my name is Susanna from Santa Ana. Does anybody know where Santa Ana is in Orange County? Yes. Yes, I'm from the Orange County, but not from the privileged side of Orange County. I know whenever I would say I was from Orange County, they would be like, oh, you're probably, you know, high income. I'm like, no, I came from a poor community, but, you know, rich in resources. And I really came from humble beginnings. Both of my parents are hardworking individuals, and you know, I'm a Latina, so I grew up in a background where, you know, a lot of women are not really encouraged to really follow their passions and dreams, and you know, really our only option is, for the most part, I mean, things have been changing, but you know, it's you know, to give birth and marry and have kids, and that's your life, right? So I grew up, you know, seeing both of my parents work hard. And I thought, well, at some point, I'm like, I value what they do, but I also want to do something bigger, you know. And so at that point, I was like, I know I wanted to go to college. I didn't know what I really wanted to do, but I know that I wanted to go to college and give back to my family and give back to my community. So, you know, I graduated from high school, I went to community college, and after that, I got accepted to UCLA. And so when I got accepted, I was super excited because I was like, oh my God, I got accepted to my dream school. You know, so I went to my parents and I shared the exciting news of like, you know, I'm going to school, I got accepted, and they're like, yeah, well, you're not moving out of this house until you get married, you know. And I was like rushed. I was like, oh my God, like I got accepted to my dream school, and you know, you don't want me to go because you'd rather me stay home and get married and you know, which there's nothing wrong with being a home, you know, a mom and be caring of your kids, but that's not what I wanted to do. I know that I wanted to do something bigger. And so I think that was the first time in my life, but I just really kind of stepped into my power, and I actually told my parents, like, I'm not asking for your permission, I'm letting you know that I'm leaving. You know, so I went off to college. Yes, thank you. I went off to college, I graduated. And then right after that, I became pregnant, and you know, my parents were really disappointed because when you just graduated and now you got pregnant, what kind of exam were you going to set for the family and for your siblings? You know, and it was a really confusing time for me. You know, but I went ahead and had my child. I got married, I think because I just felt pressured, and again because that was that expectation, you know, that you get married, you have kids, and that's your life. You know, but after I got married and it didn't work out, you know, it was not a very healthy relationship. You know, there was a lot of mental, emotional, and towards the end, even physical abuse. And I think at that point, I was like, you know what, I'm not going to live through this again. I lived through it with my parents, and I'm not going to, you know, put up with that, you know. And then there's like a bigger vision of myself. So I ended up leaving my husband, and then I became a single mom. And you know, after that, I started school again because I realized that I really wanted to help other people, you know, pursue their passions and their dreams. So I enrolled in a master's counseling program, and the first semester was horrible. I think that's when I hit rock bottom. I think a lot of the speakers have shared today that there was a point where you just hit rock bottom, you know, where there's all these pillars in your life are just crumbling, and that's how I felt my first semester. And you know, it became so challenging. And the one moment that really made it challenging for me is, you know, one time I would leave my son with his dad on certain days when I would go to school. And one day I came home and I came to pick him up. And my son didn't want to come to mom. And I was devastated because I was like, you know, wow, like, you know, my own son doesn't want to come with his mom. And that just validated what everybody else was saying, because my parents were like, how can you go back to school? Didn't you just graduate? Now you're going back to school, you're a mom, like your priority should be your son.
And then my ex, you know, of course, he would always throw it to my face, like, you're so selfish, you're going back to school, you know, you have a kid now, and, you know, and just all these things were in my head, and then I wasn't going to school, I was in a really toxic work environment at that moment in my life. So when my son didn't want to come home to mom, that was really painful, and I left home by myself, and, you know, just really thinking of just, you know, just killing myself, because I was like, if the person that I love the most doesn't want to be with me, then what's the purpose of me being here, right? And I even imagined how I was gonna do it that night, and then like it's just something hit me, and I think it was God who said, like, what the heck are you thinking, Susanna? Like, you're really gonna do this? Like, you know, you're really gonna live the life that everyone is asking you, like, you know, not, because at that point I was like, well, why even go to school? Like, why do this? Why do that? And then you know, I think that was like, you know, a time where I just said yes. I was like, you know what? You're right. Like, what the heck am I thinking? I really need to say yes to my dreams, to my goals. And then ever since that moment, I just really didn't give myself permission to just give up on my dreams. You know, and luckily I was able to finish school, and it was, you know, I ended up finishing school with a 4.0, straight A's the whole time, and that was a challenge, you know, and an accomplishment. And after that, I shortly started working with youth and helping them overcome their challenges and their barriers. And at some point, a lot of young women would work with me, and I realized that I would have them go through a lot of traumatic experiences. And I realized that, you know, I'm here to help and support, you know, women and men, but I'm personally, you know, I'm committed to also just working with women and helping us build an environment where we're supporting and healing each other. You know, so if you are called, or if you feel like you know someone or would like to experience that, I would love to connect with you, you know, and see how I can, you know, support you in that process. Like I said, I really want to just build a network where I'm working and supporting women, and helping them with their goals and live their passion and their dreams. And, you know, just, again, just living a life full of living your life in your terms, right? So, you know, if you're interested, my name is Susanna Sosa. I will be here and hanging out, or you can look at me up on social media, or email me at coachsssosa@gmail.com. So that's a little bit about myself, so thank you so much.
Okay, I have the pleasure now to introduce my coach, my friend, my mentor, my kick-ass too, because that's what good coaches do. She's named as Sunshine. She's the queen of videos, the entertainer, the birthday videos also, and she knows so many celebrities that when somebody names Linda Sunshine West, you know that she's in big things. So, with no further ado, here is my dear friend, Linda. Okay. I would stop this stinking thinking. I would stop myself from sinking when I read this stinking thinking. If I only had a brain, a heart, a home, courage. What is the opposite of courage? Fear. I'm here to talk to you guys today about my year of fears. In 2015, I decided I need to do something different with my life. So I decided to face the fear every single day. But first, before we do that, I would like you guys to take out your phones, and I would like you to text me the words Jack Canfield. Only if you're available next Saturday and Sunday to spend 2 days with me as a VIP guest with Jack Canfield.
I have 2 tickets. So my number is, then I'm just going to randomly pick it when we're done with this talk. Those who are outside, you guys missed out. So my number, and if you're watching, I don't know if you're out there, Tamara, so if you're watching, you're also qualified to do this. It's going to be in San Diego. You have to be available both days. You have to fully commit to both days. That is next Saturday and Sunday. I don't even know what days of the month that is, but it's next Saturday and Sunday. My number is 619-733-7393. 619-733-7393. Who in this room would love to spend 2 days with Jack Canfield at the Millionaire Author Summit? Right? Oh my gosh, it's going to be so awesome. I don't know who's going to win because I don't have any of your numbers in my phone except Kristen. I have yours, so I won't look. It'll be unbiased. Oh, you're already going, aren't you? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, so my name is Linda West. I've had this amazing journey I've been on this last 4 years. And is it okay with you guys if I share just a little bit of my journey? Okay, thank you so much. Because it's almost like it's not even my life. Have you ever had that where you're doing things and you're just like on this treadmill, you're just going along, and it's just part of your life? And then you make a decision one day, and you say, that is not the life I want to live. So I'm going to, as Sammy calls it, design my future. That's what happened to me 4 years ago, a little over 4 years ago. It was December 4th of 2014. That was the day that I finally quit my final job after 49 jobs. Now, I was working for a judge in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. I was a secretary. I had worked in the legal field for 20 years, 7 different law jobs in 20 years. My last one was working for a judge. It was a really boring job. So that was why I quit that job. But it was all the 40-something jobs before that led up to me quitting that job. Because what I didn't really realize is I was in the hamster wheel for 51 years. Some of us have heard people speak up here and talk about, oh, my 30 years, like they've been in that hamster wheel for 30 years. Mine was 51. I'm not comparing me to them. I'm just saying that some people discover it a little bit later. And some people, like my mom, never discover it. The reason I'm doing what I'm doing today is because my mom, when she was 78 years old, when she took her last breath, she had so many regrets, so many things she didn't do. And I said to myself in that moment, I will live my life with hashtag no regrets. I didn't say it at that time, I just said with no regrets. But now it's become my hashtag no regrets. So it's been an amazing journey because I made that decision. I decided in that moment I was no longer going to live that hamster wheel. And my life has changed. For those of you who know me in this room, has my life changed? Yeah. You guys aren't very loud about it, so
yes!
You're not going to win if you have that kind of attitude. Just kidding. For those who are just now walking in, if you're interested in spending 2 days with me as a VIP at Jack Canfield's Millionaire Author Summit next Saturday and Sunday, text me 619-733-7393, the word Jack Canfield. Okay, so I have a couple notes here for myself so that I don't get lost off track, which I already did. So I already started off track, so I'm going to get back on track. Have any of you guys heard of the Chinese bamboo tree? Heard of the Chinese bamboo tree story? Then I don't need to tell that story. Just kidding. I'm going to tell that story because I am the Chinese bamboo tree. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting to discover what you really are. So I've spent the last 4 years on this journey. The Chinese bamboo tree, for those who don't know the story. What happens is the Chinese bamboo tree, and I think Les Brown is the one I heard telling this story, so this is awfully awesome. The Chinese bamboo tree has to be cultivated, watered for 5 years. 5 years, every single day, before it even sprouts through the ground. Have you ever felt like you're like, I'm just doing this same thing over and over and over again. I just feel like I'm not being successful. And then boom, there you are. Well, what happens with the Chinese bamboo tree is after 5 years, when it sprouts through the ground, within 5 weeks, it reaches 80 feet tall. So the question is, did it take the Chinese bamboo tree 5 years, or did it take it 5 weeks? That foundation was built for 5 years. I'm in my 5th year, so I know I'm getting ready to sprout. I know this is my year, right? I am so over ready. I've been watering myself, and it's just like John Gibberly was saying, maybe my cells weren't taking in the water, I don't know. But I am ready to just shout from the rooftops. You know, and I had no voice the first 51 years of my life. I grew up in a very abusive, alcoholic household. My dad was a volatile, abusive alcoholic. And unfortunately, I married someone just like my dad. My first husband was just like my dad. So being with my husband, my first husband, after 2 years and 2 babies, I made a decision to walk out. I was not going to live my mom's life. I was 21 years old. I had a 14-month-old, I had a 4-week-old, I had a diaper bag, and I had a purse, and that was all I had. No car, no nothing, but I walked out that door, and I said, I'm not living that life. So I made a decision at that time. But unfortunately, it's not like all of those 21 years just changed. I spent the next 30 years still having all that crap in my head. It just sat there and talked to me, kept telling me how stupid and ignorant I was, telling me how I was worthless. I heard that for the next 30 years until it was April of 2014 when I hired a life coach. It was really weird because I hired her sight unseen. I saw a Facebook post. Thank you, Facebook, you changed my life. But I saw this post on Facebook, and it was this woman. I didn't know her. And it said, I've been a life coach for 20 years. I took 5 years off, and I'm ready to get back into the game. I'm looking for 5 women who want to change their life. She was talking to me. And so I said, I'm in. I raised my hand in that moment, and I said, I am in, and I'm ready to see what my life is about. At 51 years, I finally made that decision. Now, I don't regret the previous 51 years because I know that everything I went through is what got me to where I am today. So I'm going to share with you just really quick. I don't even know how much time I have. I don't see a timer back there, so I'll just keep going. So as I go on my journey here, this one thing you'll learn about me here is that I take advantage of every moment that I have here on this planet. So when I see that there's no timer back there, I'm just gonna keep going, right? So as you notice, you guys, this is so exciting to me. Something that happened to me today, this journey that I've been on for 4 years, something that happened to me just today. You guys were sitting here and you witnessed it, part of my journey. Eric Swanson, I've known him for 4 years, Mr. Awesome, right? I've seen him speak probably 10, 15 times. What's that, 3 minutes. And I can't see that far, it looks like 10 minutes left. Okay, just 3, okay.
Whatever.
Okay, so what happened today was part of my journey. I'm going to be speaking at the Habitude Warrior Conference, something I wanted to do for 4 years. It happened, do what? Hey, you're taking up my time. Yes. Okay, so the reason I share that is because I don't know why Eric chose me today. I don't know why. But I do know that I was sitting in the front seat. I was paying attention. I asked Eric before I went on, are you going to tell my favorite story, the skiing story? He tells it every time, so I know he's going to do it. But I asked him. So there's so many things that we have in life that we don't jump at. And I've had opportunities like this Jack Canfield thing. I'm going to share really quickly the story as to why. Two of you will be going with me to the Jack Canfield event this weekend. Well, it was last year, for an event called City Gala. City Gala is the red carpet after party for the Academy Awards. About 2 weeks before the City Gala last year, I had this thought. And my thoughts take action. So my thought was, I wonder if I could be on the red carpet as a live video reporter. You know, I've done over 4,000 videos, you guys, so like videos don't scare me at all, right? So I sent a message, and I was trembling. I'm like, can I be a live correspondent on the red carpet? And, you know, because I still have fears, even though I face the fear every day, I still have fears. I sent that message, like 5 minutes later, the message came back. Yes, of course. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be on the red carpet. This is awesome. I'm gonna be on the red carpet, there's gonna be stars, there's gonna be all these video cameras, there's gonna be all these cameras and everything. And I'm gonna have my cell phone. I was like, that's not gonna look too cool, right? So I was like, Greg Reed, who is my mentor. Greg is, he's a gentleman who puts on an event called Secret Knock. And Greg, I sent him a message, I said, oh my God, I want to ask them if I can bring a videographer. I don't know what to do, I don't know how to ask. I was scared, so I'm reaching out to my mentor, the guy who, you know, has been and done all these different things. And so I reviewed his response was like, what's your question? That's Greg, if you know Greg, he's just very short about things. And so I said, they said I can be on the red carpet, but I want to bring a video. I was like, just repeat the question. You know, I want to bring a videographer. He goes, Linda. So he actually called me. He's like, Linda, this is ridiculous. Okay, here's the thing. He's got a 100-foot red carpet. He needs videographers. You're doing him a favor. I was like, oh, the good old favor thing. This is awesome. So what I did is I sent an email and I said, by the way, I'll have a videographer and his name is Alvin, who was here earlier today. So I just told them, I said, we're gonna be on the red carpet. So the reason I bring that up is because the Jack Canfield. So I showed up at the City Gala, and I showed up fashionably late. I got there about noon, and there he was. It was Jack Canfield. I walked into the room. He was standing in the room talking to 3 other people. But nobody else was there. It was lunch break. I got there during lunch. Well, if you don't know Jack, he talks to every single person. He makes sure he talks to every person and gets pictures with everybody. These were the last 3 people in the line. So I walked in and they were there talking, and I just stood here nice and quiet, patiently. It was like 10 minutes. I mean, these people really had a lot of questions. The next thing I know, I was there, I want to get a picture. Next thing I know, those 3 people turned away and walked that way. Jack turned and walked towards me. And he said, loud, but to himself, I'm hungry, I'm gonna go get some lunch. And I just grabbed his arm and I said, I'm taking you to lunch. And we walked to lunch. And it was really cool because I got to get a glimpse of what it's like to be Jack Canfield. Because we were at Universal Studios, we were in a conference room, and then we had to walk to the food court, you know, which is, I don't know, like maybe less than a quarter mile, 1/8 of a mile. Every single person, oh Jack, let's get a picture. Oh Jack, you gotta look at my product. Jack, will you endorse my book? Every single person. Finally, I was like, Jack, I gotcha. He'll see you after lunch. He'll see you after lunch. And so I just did that the whole way to our lunch. It was so cool. Oh my gosh. I mean, I was just like a little kid, you know? I just like, I took control. I was a little kid. So we went to lunch, and we were at lunch for 2 hours. And the very first thing I said to him, though, is because I noticed that everybody wanted something from Jack. Everybody wanted a piece of him. Imagine, like you people, like I often say, I want paparazzi because I don't like to, you know, type, so I'd rather have people just videotape me all day long. But I don't know if I'd really like that because I've witnessed it, right? So we were at lunch for 2 hours. The very first thing I said to him was, Jack, I'm not here to take anything from you. I just want to be in your presence and learn from you. And he was like, thank you so much, I really appreciate that. So he really relaxed, and we had a great conversation, discovering how our childhoods were very similar. This is important for part of my story here, because what happened after 2 hours of lunch with Jack, we walked back to the City Gala event, and there were people, and they were like, what? And so somebody said, you went to lunch with him? And I said, yeah. They said, did you know that right before lunch, 2 people bid on lunch with Jack? $14,000 each for a 1-hour lunch with Jack? And I was like, oh my God, I just paid $38 for 2 hours. So I had 2 hours with Jack Canfield. I'm not sharing this to brag. I'm sharing this to talk about opportunities. The old Linda, who had so many fears, the first 51 years of my life that led up to this moment 1 year ago when I had lunch with Jack Canfield. I had so many fears in my life that the old Linda, when he said, I'm hungry, he was just like, I'm hungry, I'm gonna go to lunch. I would have said, oh gosh, I don't want to disturb him. I'll just wait till later. The new Linda saw an opportunity and seized it. And I love to say that see opportunities, then see